Alright then, so I've gone through the Vaporous Emporium. Now it's time to get through the Yeti Caves and the Sunwall Outpost. I'm thinking for this episode that we're going to try to keep the explanations that, as you basically see already, making it, use words that I really shouldn't be using, really toward the end of the video. So I'm going to basically explain the skills soon, but I'll basically do it right after I basically, beat the Yeti Caves or the Sunwall Outpost, instead of, prior to it. And I think that makes sense, so yeah. I should probably delete that other character I have, but I'll just leave it there for now. The other Yeti Kruk they basically made prior to this video. That was going to be recorded, but I decided against. I will note before I actually begin, though. Basically, we're at war with the Atmos Pride, and a lot of what we're basically doing right now is just sort of stomping the Atmos Pride as opposed to anything else. After we basically crush the Vaporous Emporium here and do the Yeti Cave, we basically have to move against the Sunwall. But this is sort of preemptive stuff against the Atmos Tribe we're basically doing right now. So, we're going to explore the Yeti Cave and destroy the Patriarch, to sap the Giant's morale in the supply lines. Here's a Yeti warrior, by the way. Before we push on, I'll note there is sort of a lore system in the Yeti's Caves, with these very blue, crude mural paintings on the walls of the Yeti Cave on each floor. It is really one there I can't really specify what's going on because it's like a picture. Now, I'm not sure if you've basically seen these before yet, but campfires are basically a doodad that is sort of added into terrain effects for the Emperor's Rage campaign. When you're basically on these, they basically increase your stun regeneration, or steam regeneration, your stun immunity, and your stamina regeneration. And there'll be more of these other type of effects on the floor as well, but here's basically the first one to basically find probably. Alright, there's some drop the Mac orders. I believe this is lore, by the way, that was basically added into the Emperor's Rage and not the original campaign, so... As always, you can basically stop to pause and read that lore I just went by the way. Won't be reading any lore in this one. This time around, at least. Let's see here, what am I training up now? I think it was basically to get up to Dexterity 28, maybe 30. Let's keep doing that for now. We have access to the thick fur now, which is nice, so I can start training this up. You know, it's nice to see that this is basically reliably happening now. I'm basically using condensate to basically put the wet effect on these Yetis, and then we can make them explode by like using the boiling shot on them. That's what I'm basically doing over and over now for like the early game, because it works so well to just win the game for you. Alright, there's basically the first level of the Yeti Caves basically done. I assume this is going to go by a lot quicker than the Vaporous Emporium, because we've got a few levels and the Yeti Caves is a lot easier than the Vaporous Emporium. Movement speed is nice early on, I think, so put that on. Our campfire. There's another piece of lore, by the way, that's, I believe, part of the Embers of Rage campaign as opposed to the old one. Let's see here, let's drop this right here, and we'll go, boom! Hit everyone there with a nice big shot. Set this up for now. Goes killing all of that. There's a blink rune of the wizard. With that guy. There's the second mural. When we get to the third mural, I'll basically explain what's going on with these, like, you know, paintings, but we're not quite there yet. Alright, level 9. That gets us up to 3 dexterity. Let's get the side shot up to 3 of 5 here. We'll get blunt shot off to 1 of 5 right here. Up another point over here in thick fur, because it basically gives us a little bit of physical resistance. Magical save is nice too. I should confuse him. Almost done this level. Just gonna confuse the bear. Or actually kill the bear, apparently. Alright, I will go to the next level in a bit, but we're just going to quickly go and set the level for the Sunwall Caves. That would be important to do. Oh, that's a hat, not a... Well... We'll still put this on, I guess. I thought we had found some gloves, but... it's just these regular ones right here, I guess, so... Let's put those on, I guess. I will note that much like the Tales of Maj'Eyal Asia Sensei campaign, it's still in your interest to start set levels in this game, so... We're just gonna go over here to do the first level of the Sunwall Outpost. Now, to explain something to you guys here, I'll note when you're basically running through the Sunwall Outpost, you basically get an ally with you for like each level you basically go into. This first one we got ourselves an Orc Gunslinger, which is nice. There's a vault there on the right of me there. Well, he's got a movement infusion right there, apparently. Interesting. I should just have this over here, probably. Or here. For now. Let's drop a quick heal on us here. Here's Solidify Air in action, by the way. Solidify Air is sort of like our ice ball in this game, which basically blocks off the enemy from us. So this is all like unpenetrable terrain that we can basically see through. Basically, this gives us a little reprieve to get closer to this guy and knock him out. Let's get over here. Alright, he's firing at me, which is fine because I can just move here. Down he goes. I wouldn't be surprised by if this gunslinger is doing more damage than me right now because he's level 13. I note these enemies are basically fighting right now, by the way. You basically have the Sunwall guard over here. He's basically one of the enemies to basically fight. Here's a Sunwall, by the way. This is one of the other doodads that are basically in the game. It basically gives you a light and sight radius of 2 increase, blindness immunity to 30%, stealth sting and light resistance of 30%, so... You'll see an opposite of this with like a Moonwell. And it's right there apparently, so there's a Moonwell. So here's the Moonwell. This basically does the opposite of what the Sunwall basically does, decreasing light and sight radius by 1. Increasing stun radius immunity by 30%, and increasing stealth and darkness resistance by 30%. So basically, they're opposite fonts. They're in the campaign, and these aren't available in the original Asia Sensei. They're available in the Emperor's Rage campaign here. Here's a Sunpound recruit. I know a lot of these enemies right here are very basic right now. They'll get stronger as they go along, but you know, right now they're pretty weak. There's a regular Sun Paladin and a Sunwall Archer. This guy's a little bit more scary, but you know, whatever. You know, I have to say, the movement infusion on this guy is not the greatest feat for this guy to have, but oh well. I'm actually running out of steam here. Let's activate this here. We're just gonna confuse this guy a little bit and like headbutt him. We'll drop this on those guys. Let's activate this, get a little bit of steam. Yeah, he's getting battered up pretty badly, but oh well. There we go, we got him. Alright, at this point this guy needs to heal up, so let's just rest up a little bit here. There we go, he's basically full health. We got ourselves a steel steam saw here. As I transmorify this, there's a lump of steel. So, if I want to make like tier 2 stuff, there's a lump of steel we can start making it with. I think I already like touched on that a little bit in the past episode, but touch on it again. Do this. There's a little bit of lore. You'll find some interesting lore basically in this place because it basically sort of like tells the like frustration of the Sunwall. They're actually really frustrated with like the ordeal of like having an outpost here, like to ward off the orcs right and just fight them like, you know, head on. Let's drop that on you. You're dead. Let's drop this here. A page from Chimera Trail's journal. I'll note that in the Sunwall Outpost there's basically two separate figures that are basically sort of talking to each other and having journals and stuff like that. And basically, they're both like very frustrated, like having to sort of like sit here and be like, you know, possibly attacked by the orcs who are gaining strength. And well, as you can basically see, they like, you know, orcs gain strength when we attack them, so to speak. So they're not stupid, but they follow stupid orders. Let's drop this here. Shouldn't be too much more to explore this level. That's a lot of guys right here. Let's stand right here and let's go plop. Here's a Sun-Mage recruit, by the way. These guys are essentially mages that, as you saw, use searing light and the fire beam, basically, searing ray gas. They're probably like the most dangerous enemies here besides the bosses. We're gonna leave the vault alone because vaults are actually kind of dangerous in the Sunwall Outpost at this level. It's kind of like going to the EoR Outpost or something like the other vaults basically in like the early game. They can be kind of dangerous if you like, you know, stop into this one for example. I expect that everything in here is like level 20 or level 27, so it'd be like about 20 levels above me right now. Alright, so here's basically an interesting totem, I guess. I would like better than that, but it's not a bad totem to be using this one right here. More life would be nice, so maybe we'll put this on now. These are tier 2 slings right here. I can like turn into guns if I want to. Just move this into. I'm gonna move that base right now. Yeah, I probably shouldn't be getting rid of the gems because they're actually used to like make stuff. But early on, money's sort of important to buy stuff, so there is good reason basically to do so. Right, let's head up to Yeti Caves here. Before I continue, so I will note that I do want to basically get steam guns at some point. And I will probably want to basically invest in getting explosives like level 1 at some point as well for it. And yeah, just like, you know, you need Citron for focus lens. In all honesty, by the way, right now I'm probably going to start aiming to get my my Tinker abilities basically online soon, but I want to basically start raising kindness for that purpose. I'll note that early on the Tinkers like they're useful, but it's not really until a little bit later on to get really useful. So I've been focusing my efforts on like getting skills instead. There's a statue of Kulamar, the General of Uruk. You can read this if you want to. Ourselves a nasty looking imp apparently. He's level 17, but it's fine. Let's drop that on him. There's a little bit of experience for our troubles in killing him. Alright, here's a third mural for the Yeti Caves. Now, I'll note the idea of like the Yetis by the way in this game. The Yetis are basically considered to be like non-sentient type of like critters that essentially both the orcs and the steam giants are sort of abusing. With the orcs, basically we've like, you know, we're basically like, you know, playing as a Yeti. We've like hijacked the mind one with like our Psy. And you can see like the steam giants are basically very much the same mind, where they're basically using Psy like, you know, basically techniques to sort of like control the Yetis. And like, you know, use them for their own purposes as well. Really what we're doing with like the Yeti Caves here, we're just looking to, you know, kill off the Yetis so that the Atmos tribe can't really use them. There's level 10. Alright, well, at this point I don't really need to get myself up dexterity a whole lot more, so let's start getting upper cunning, I think, just so we can get access to some of these other talents over here. We'll get Molten Iron Blood up a little bit more. That'll give us a little more like fire damage on our hits, more resistance, which is nice. And we're gonna start getting this basically up over here. What to do with this category point, I wonder? I will note, by the way, there's basically like pre-locked categories down here for the Psyshots. They basically have Psychic Nightmare, which is basically a Solstice type of category, but we're not essentially very good at it, so we'll probably basically avoid this one. We have Steam Tech Avoidance and we have Steam Tech Dread. Both of these are very good because this basically increases our defensive abilities, and they also basically give us some more powerful shots to make use as well. So basically get the automatic cloak tessellation, which basically helps us deflect stuff. We have cloak gesture here. This basically builds up with cunning, just builds up with dexterity over here. So this would be useful to create ourselves a couple arms to basically hit stuff with. Now, note we don't really need EoRs right now. I'll probably just get the inscription for now. But both of these are something I'll probably want to invest in when I get the category points for them. Let's get that up a little bit over here. There's the boss of this place called the Yeti Patriarch. This guy, I believe, does have the ability to rush you, so I'll start building up our steam right now. Kill a few. First put Insidious and Poison on him so he takes some damage over time. And I basically want to be conservative with my steam cost here, because anything that basically takes a lot of steam is usually not worth using right now. We'll use this in a moment, but let's just go. There's our rush basically on us. Let's go like this. Push. There's the Patriarch basically coming for me. I missed the bowling shot, which is annoying, but oh well. We'll drop that basically on to keep him wet and possibly stun him with blunt shot. And of course that misses as well. Block him down with this. The nice thing about Solidified Air basically can be used to lock down people like that, so you can basically run away and reposition as necessary. Even if things can rush you, they can't rush you through the solid air, so it's a nice little trick basically to do. Let's do this now. We got him on an ice block, so he can't move for a little bit. Let's just poison him again, so he takes more damage from that. Uses Yeti breath on me there for a moment, but that's fine. Did he get rid of the Insidious Poison by himself? I can't really tell. Let's go here. I'll note I'll actually gain steam back when I use this ability here, so I want to be using this ability a lot to get my steam basically back to do stuff. Drop that on him and we'll go. There we go, we got blowing shot off that time. Alright, so there's the quest, a steamer campaign basically done. We basically get the quest You Shall Pass, we basically go attack the Sunwall Outpost. So basically the Atmos tribe is not our sole problem, so the Sunwall's going strength since the Scourge of the West came and murdered the other prides. Our brothers on mainland slave and enslaved, but before we can free them, we must secure a way to mainland, so basically, like, take out the outpost so we can go rescue our, like, brothers in the other pride, so to speak. So he dropped the Yeti for a cloak, and Yeti muscle tissue. We get a quest for Mystery of Yeti, so I'll basically show this off in like the future episodes when we get around to it. Alright, those are kind of basically up to 29, 20. We'll basically get innovation, chemistry, all nice stuff basically get right now. Let's get mechanical up here, I guess. Now, I will note by when you basically like learn these like tinker talents, you basically have a chance to learn the abilities that are basically like in these like lists here. So if I basically pick up mechanically, we have a chance to basically learn Iron Grip or Hook Shell, basically with each like level up in it. Let's get these like skills over here, I think. Mind drones by the way are useful to like basically like disrupt enemies a little bit, and just molten iron blood basically keep leveling up is just useful for defense. So we learned Flash Powder and Iron Grip there, so we are still a couple of new tinkers. We go here, you basically see I now have access to those basically. Now, note that it says like create tier 2 here. Basically all this stuff I can really create like tier 1 or tier 2 depending on if I have the resources basically for it. So I'm gonna have like tier 1, which basically like 60% like for his iron grip here, or tier 2, which basically uses steel ingots, as opposed to like the iron ones. There's Flash Powder, waterproof coating, EoR recycler. I may want to get the EoR recycler in a bit, but I'll show off why when we get around to it. Why can't I make this? Oh, I can make this right now. I may want to get the acid groove, so let's create this so I can show off like creating tinkers. So there's a good acid groove that's made right there. So these basically pop up in like this like potion area, like tinkers right here. We can basically put this on, so we'll attach this basically to one of our weapons. Now this weapon basically has the a chance to like do acid damage basically on it. Why not, let's just create this. We'll show this off like a little bit right now, so I can like show like what they're basically all about, this stuff. Flash powder, waterproof coating. Note by the way, this stuff goes to like different types of things that they attach into. So some of it will be like attached to like your headgear, some will be attached to like your like other like piece of equipment. So this basically is attached to like our low gloves. This was basically attached to our cloak. We already have basically the rocket boots down here, which is a talent I haven't really used yet, but it's there. We already know the focus lens, so we don't really need to worry about that. We found ourselves an amulet. We'll put this basically on now. And I'll note this cloak here is pretty useful for like getting a little bit of like armor and stuff like that, but our current cloak is actually a little bit better with like the 7 armor it basically gives. So don't worry about the A4 cloak here. I don't think we need anything here, so... Ooh, find! That's better than mossy, so let's take this off, put this on. Oh cool, so you get like herbs from like, mine stars, so That's basically one of the ways you can basically get herps, like, you know, create your cells basically down the road. And yeah, this like Yeti muscle tissue basically it's part of like a quest. To sort of give a hint of what this is basically involved in, the Yeti's muscle tissue is like sort of like your escort reward type of thing in this game. Just to throw it out there is what these are basically used for. You want to get these like Yeti's like pieces of stuff. Anyhow. Let's just keep going on here. That's annoying. Poof. And you know what? I don't like to have like this like all sort of cluttered over here, so let's just put the boots basically over here. Go over here for now. Separate stuff here a little bit. There's some herbs to pick up. Looks like I picked up some shot there, so we need to see what that's all about. Alright, we're level 12. One reason I went to Sunwall Outpost is because I am going to get above level 10. And of course I want to basically level lock that area because basically we have to go through it. Something to note by the way in this game is that unlike the Age of Ascendancy campaign, you have to go through the Sunwall Outpost. And initially you're like, you know, sort of like under level basically for that area, so if you basically go into, say, like this level, level 12, it'd be like that much harder basically to go through. And it's possibly sort of like, you know, locked basically in that area if you're not careful, so I want to try and avoid that basically. And we're going to use this basically for sure. As a heads up, by the way, never use like you know, shielding effects basically on a psionic, like, you know, a Solstice, or not Solstice, a Psyshot. This character does not really benefit from like, you know, damage shields because he has his own right here, so we'll talk about this when we get around to it. But you know, we have our own damage shield naturally with this character. Early on, it might be good, but you know, not really. Alright, well, we're done this area. And I guess this will be like sort of like toward the end of the episode, so let's just do some expeditions, not for skills, but just for like what I'm basically gonna do, like, you know, further on from here. So first things first, here's basically huge doors to Keltor's shop. I'll note that this area is essentially one that spawns right after you basically run through the Vaporous Emporium. And if you want to, you can basically like attack these guys, but it makes more sense to like, you know, talk to them and basically get their like, you know, goods basically for like, you know, buying from them basically early on. Note by the way, all these giants here, they're like, you know, level 16, level 19, level 18. They're gunners, they're gunslingers, they're like all like, you know, ready to pounce on me if I basically try something stupid, so to speak. So, not a good idea to go against these guys just yet. Here's Archmerchant Kaltor. Let's talk to him. Alright, so, if you want to, again, you can attack these guys, but we're going to shop with this guy here, so let's get to it. Finally, a practical giant, let's show me your wares. Now, note that this guy is sort of like the the shop basically from like the Asian Ascendancy campaign. Umbrals or Ufers or whatever shop, I guess, basically in Last Hope. You basically get access to a whole lot of nice stuff basically from this guy if, like, you know, you have the money for it, which I don't, but, you know, we can go in here and have a look around, see what he basically has. So, he's got basically a tier 3, like, you know, knockback force thing here, which is not bad. He's got an armor hardness totem, don't really care about that. There's Star Shot right there. That'd be nice to basically get for, like, the increase, like, damage they basically give me. There's the planar beacon, that'd be used to allow me to sort of, like, have an extra teleport. Lightbringer Ron is always useful for like the extra orb space he makes. not to mention light radius. As far as rest, basically this guy has a chance to spawn like lots of really nice stuff like this. So, I wouldn't mind actually getting a Warrior's Rest if it's this cheap. Actually, no, by the way, I don't really like benefit from the talent mastery, but getting like you know 100% pin immunity, movement speed increase, the ability to sort of like, you know, jump around with telekinetic leap. That's all pretty nice to actually have in a pair of boots early on. So what I really want to basically get something like this, like a, you know, a tier 3 steam gun if I can like afford it, but you know, we can't just yet. There's a tier 3 Mind Star. It's anti-magic, but it's fine. We're actually not on magic territory right now. There's the black ring. So, some nice stuff basically in here. I may want to get Warrior's Rest, but you know, we'll do that right after I do my other stuff here. Yeah, I really don't want to attack this area versus basically one of these guys right here. So there's a Steam Giant, you know, Yeti Rider. So we just browse for now, that's fine. Alright, so what I really want to do right now is basically buy some inscriptions and stuff like that that could be useful to, like, you know, help me basically overcome John. He's basically the outpost leader that I have to like, go through like coming up. That's unfortunately not useful right there. And this stuff isn't really useful here. Just sell it off. What I'm basically looking for right now is basically anything that can sort of help me overcome the giants basically in the or not the giants, like the Sunwall Outpost, so to speak. And essentially what I'm basically doing right here is basically going through this guy to basically make myself as, like, you know, good as I can, so to speak. He points to a new post on the wall next to him, showing your face in caption. Kaltor, the choice of destroyers. I'm really tempted to basically get this, because this actually is really useful to basically get. I don't think I'm going to be able to, like, you know, save up for this basically, or really, like, you know, benefit a lot from, like, these things over here exactly. Well, I would benefit from, like, getting this torque, but the thing is I actually have to, get this, you know, get the money for it. Which is easier said than done. So, let's get Warrior's Rest here, I think. And we'll put this basically on. There's basically our telekinetic leap right there. Basically go away. Alright, well, We'll be pushing on into the next level, like, in the next episode, but for now, it's like good enough for this episode. I'll get to explain, like, the skills and stuff basically at the end of, like, the Sunwall Outpost, I guess, or maybe after a little bit of, like, exploring out the other areas basically come after, so to speak. This all requires basically skills or, like, ingredients that you basically don't have or other stuff, so. Oh well, we'll leave her here. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.